What's up, YouTube? Angry Jackalope here, Rob Ricks. The Art of War. Interpreted by the Angry Jackalope, me. Chapter 1, Peeping the Scene. Once a motherfucker gets an understanding of the game and what the levels and rules of the game is, then the world ain't no trick no more. The world's a game to be played. Tupac Shakur, staring through my rear view. Okay, so I put a quote in there. Original piece. Cao Kung, in defining the meaning of the Chinese for the title of this chapter, says it refers to the deliberations of temple, selected by a general for his temporary use, or as we say, or we should say, in his tent. Sun Tzu said, the art of war is of vital importance to the state. Angry Jackalope says, the art of war is important to the hustling gangster. To be truly gangster, you need to understand the words coming out of my mouth. It's a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry, which can on no account be neglected. If you plan on surviving and thriving in the game, you need to open your damn mind, peep the game, learn the rules, and then dominate. Feel me? The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors to be taken into account in one's deliberations when seeking to determine conditions of obtaining in the field. Art of War has 5 pieces you need to be aware of when trying to figure out if you can dominate the game. These are 1. The moral law. 2. Heaven. 3. Earth. 4. The commander. 5. Method and discipline. The pieces are righteous calm mind, the air, the ground, the leader, game plan, and pimp hand. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Tu Yu quotes Wu Tzu as saying, without constant practice, the officers will be nervous and undecided when mustering for battle. Without constant practice, the general will be wavering and irresolute when the crisis is at hand. The righteous badass hero will inspire the group to roll deep, follow him into the most fucked up situation without fail, because they believe in him or her. It's hella important to make sure practice shit before the actual shit goes down. Shot callers need to know what his peeps are capable of, and they need to have faith he can rock shit without fail. So it's real important for them to have faith in the leader, and the leader has to have faith in his people. Heaven signifies night, day, cold and heat, time and seasons. The air lets you figure out night or day, hot or cold, times and seasons. That one didn't really need a whole lot of extra explanation because it was pretty straightforward. You know, let's talk about that one for a second. So heaven, so I called it the air. It lets you figure out, you know, is it nighttime, daytime? So it's kind of like the environment around you, right? So night or day, hot or cold, time or seasons. Those are important when factoring out things because as you'll learn, a lot of strategy, a lot of tactics involve you understanding the different variables around you. You know, do you want to go and attack a motherfucker when it's fucking hella snowing and hella cold? Depends. If you guys can handle it, fuck yeah. If they can't handle it, then probably not the best thing. It's like a football game. Do you want to play a team that's always playing in the rain and they're really good in the rain right when it's raining when you guys are from a sunny area and you suck during the rain? No, not ideally. But if you have a choice and you're the other team, fuck yeah, you want it wet and runny because that's your environment. That's what you're used to. Anyway, continuing. Earth compromises distance, great and small, danger and security, open ground and narrow passes, the chances of life and death. Again, more variable stuff, right? The ground factors in how far, how big, how tight security is, open space, and dangerous places. Right? Variables. But again, how many times you watch a movie and you see some guys, or even military, before they go into an environment to attack, they send out scouts. Why do you send out scouts? Get the lay of the land, figure out what they're up against. Last thing you want to do is have that Han Solo scene where you're sitting there chasing one fucking stormtrooper coming around a corner. Oh shit, there's a fucking million of these motherfuckers. Turn around and run the other way, right? That sucks. This chapter is longer than most, so just stay with me. The commander stands for virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. The 5 cardinal values of the Chinese are humanity or benevolence, uprightness of the mind, self-respect, self-control or proper feeling, wisdom, sincerity or good faith. Here, wisdom and sincerity are put before humanity or benevolence, and the 2 military virtues of courage and strictness, substituted for upright mind and self-respect, self-control or proper feelings. The leader is the badass motherfucker strong enough to hold a crew together. Usually a leader has knowledge, cares about his people, is hella brave and can keep his crew in order. But it's not always the case, right? How many times have we seen leaders that have just dominated a crew through fear by just being a mean motherfucker? But again, how many times do we see that same leader when his shit starts to go sideways, the motherfucking people just leave his ass like, fuck him, he was a dick. Or he's in a environment where he's always worrying about another motherfucker below him trying to take his position, right? If you have a crew that loves you and rolls with you through thick and thin, then you've got a stronger force than a crew that is run by a tyrant, right? So if you look at Fast and Furious, you know, you got Vin Diesel's character. He's got a tight fucking crew, but it's not really a crew for them. It's more like family, because there's love, respect, and admiration there. So it's important whenever you're building a crew around you, make sure it's a crew that is rolling with you out of respect and love, not because they're afraid, or an alternate view, not because you have something that they covet, that they want, right? So you gotta really keep an eye on that shit. All right, 10. By method and discipline are to be understood the marshalling of the army in its proper subdivisions, the graduations of rank among the officers, the maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and control of military expenditure. By knowing your role, members of the crew should know how to get in where they fit in, and if they do, we can jump in ranks. The leader needs to set up other leaders under him to help grow the crew into a finely oiled machine, right? So, method and discipline. Those are abstract terms to somebody that is oblivious to it. If you've never had discipline, then you don't really understand it. So let me break it in another way. A parent and their child. The very first rule that you should teach your children is discipline. The first time they do something majorly bad, you should beat their ass, right? Now I'm saying beat their ass all the time, but you need to beat their ass that first time so they understand that there's a consequence for their actions. That way, going forward, if you say, hey, you want that ass beaten again? They have something to reference. They have established discipline, right? And then understanding where to get in, where you fit in. You know, the last thing you want in your crew is people that just kind of sit around and don't know what the fuck they should be doing at all times. You know, if you're having an objective, you're on a trade show, for example, and you got 5 guys and you're trying to sell product, you don't want those guys just kind of sitting around. You want them actually motivated. You want to say, hey guys, bring people into the booth, get them going, get them motivated, get them looking at whatever we're trying to sell, whatever. Actively participating, so getting in where you're fitting in, you know, and find out what people's strengths or weaknesses are. So anyway, we'll continue. Next section is 11 here. The 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Low-level cats should know who they report to, and those higher-level cats better know who they report to up the line all the way to the top leader. If there's no pecking order that's cleanly defined, i.e., you don't know who the boss is and who his boss is, then a crew's fucked. If everyone knows the pecking order and follows it, it's all good in the hood. So, if you have a small group, it's not a big deal, right? But as the group gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, you need to know who to talk to for certain situations. Who's the shot caller? Who's the guy that can make the decisions, right? And if you decide, fuck it, I'm gonna make the decision, then you better understand the guy above you is gonna be like, motherfucker, you didn't check with me. There's gonna be some blowback. But sometimes you just do what you gotta do. But if you know the pecking order, you know the hierarchy of what you're dealing with, then it helps you out, right? Next one. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of the comparison in this wise. Alright, so if you peep the game as a whole and you look at all the pieces on the board and think about it and make sure everything is locked up nice and tight, it should be good. Use the following to help mentally check. Alright. Which of the two sovereigns is imbued with the moral law? Compare the main leaders in a face-off. See who's got the most swagger and clout. Who's got the most love from his crew and the people around him. This is what we were just talking about. So when you're looking at two sides, right? You want to assess the leaders. You want to see who's got the strongest leader. And then secondary after that, who's got the strongest support. Okay, those are more variables to take into consideration. So if you got a guy here who's a tyrant, but he's got a massive fucking army, and you got a guy here who's hella loved, he's got a small army, when you take those variables in consideration, even the tyrant, even though he's a dick, he might have a shit ton of generals underneath him that are loved by the troops. So even though he might be a dick, he still might stomp mud holes in this motherfucker right here, right? So that's how you got to look at the situation. You got to look at the variable pieces and understand. Okay, this is the next part here. Which of the two generals has the most ability, right? Which of the leaders has the most skill? Now, this could be anything. I mean, it could be anything. It's like, okay, let's take it from a business point of view. You got two business tycoons here, right? This guy right here has been in the game 10 years. He's got like 10 victories under him. This guy's been in the game 30 years, and he's got thousands of accomplishments under him. So just looking at face value, who's the stronger guy? This guy, right? Because he's got seniority, he's got experience, and he's been around forever. He knows shit. Now, that's a superficial observation. But this guy might be leveraging against technology and some new things that are game changers. So this guy suddenly might actually be the winner. We don't know. You have to look at the variables. Okay. Which whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? Alright. When taking in variables of the air and the land, who has home field advantage? Okay, so this guy might be fucking tycoon, fucking hell of resources in New York. This guy might be the kingpin in California. All right, where are they operating at? Where's the deal going down? What, you know, so those are things you have to look at. Who's got the home field advantage? Okay. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? Which side has the best crew as defined by the pecking order and following the rules of the crew? So, take these guys out. Now you've got the crew. Okay? This guy right here had thousands and thousands of employees under him. This guy right here might only have 100 employees underneath him. But because this guy has such a big, massive machine, how disciplined are his people? This is a smaller crew, tighter knit. So, you know, which ones are the stronger? Now, which army is stronger? Right? Which crew is the strongest, most hardcore and fired up? So now let's change this to a battle. So instead of, you know, employees and stuff like that, let's just take it to just a street fight. Okay, this guy's got 1,000 dudes, this guy's got 100 dudes. So this guy right here, it would seem at a superficial observation, has more numbers. But remember 300, okay? These guys over here, these 100, they might be martial arts trained, they might be special operations, they might be all kinds of stuff where these guys might be just street hoods, you know? So at that point, I'll take 100 of these guys to 1,000 of these guys. Because these guys have more discipline, they have more skill, and they're more fucking fired up to win. These guys might not want to do shit. See where I'm going? On which sides are officers and on which side are officers and men more highly trained? Which crew is better trained and has the most practice, skills to pay the bills? Okay, goes right back to what I was saying, special forces versus street thugs. Right? You take one special forces guy against 100 fucking street thugs, it might not be any competition. This guy might go rig a bomb, blow their asses up. You see what I'm saying? We can take it from a business point of view. Lawyers, okay? These might have 100 guys that practice regular law, whatever. Might have 1 to 10 guys on this side that have practiced high caliber law, know all kinds of people, have all kinds of influence and networks and everything else. Okay. Alright, now this one's kind of interesting. In which army is there greater consistency, both in reward and punishment? I thought it's consistency, but it says constancy. So we're going with consistency because that's what I'm looking at here. In which crew has the strongest rules in place to make sure fuckers follow the rules laid down by the leader? Is there rewards and punishment clearly explained? Discipline? So, here we got thousands. Here we've got hundreds, right? So, when you have this many guys on the side, if you do not have established pecking order, rules, established all this other stuff, this shit can fall apart really easily. The more people you have, the more important it is to have your structure in place to make sure they all follow the same sets of rules. If they don't, it doesn't matter how many fuckers are, because you're not going to be able to communicate, you're not going to be able to effectively move or mobilize this group of people to do what you need to do. Smaller groups are easier to manage. But again, you have 1 or 2 bad seeds in there and fuck you, I'm not going to follow that shit. Okay, well now you've got to break down in the system. So, again, you're comparing these variables. Who's got the stronger discipline? Okay? By means of these 7 considerations, I can forecast victory or defeat. If you know these 7 variables to the game and understand them and how they affect the game, you can easily figure out who's going to get smashed. So again, taking all these different variables and looking at them and taking them into consideration and weighing them and looking at them and saying, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. So this guy right here is really solid. This is good, this is good. He's not quite as solid. Or flip it. Whichever one you look at and you calculate, you say, now you can kind of project. You can kind of say, look, this guy has the odds in his favor. Doesn't mean he's guaranteed to win. It just means he has a very, very good chance of winning. Okay? The general that hearkens to my counsel and acts upon it will conquer. Let such a one be retained in command. The general hearkens not to my counsel, nor acts upon it, will suffer defeat. Let such a one be dismissed. If a player understands the shit I said above and peeps the game, they are welcome in my crew. If a motherfucker can't grasp these simple concepts, I don't want them on my team. Period. If I'm gonna lace up your boots and then you just waste the knowledge, you're a scrub who'll be a waste. So step. Alright, so if you're telling this to somebody and they go, dude, I get it, and they follow it, that's great, right? Because now you've got a person who's sharing in your ideology and is going to help execute whatever your plan or mission is. If you got a guy that's constantly fucking backing, no, I don't know, dude, I don't think so. Just fucking get out of here, dude. I don't have a fucking need for that shit. While heeding the profit of my counsel, avail yourself also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. Okay. While looking at these rules of the game, always understand sometimes shit can go sideways and sometimes you'll win when you should have lost. So factor in luck. Right? It's like I said, you can have the best army, the best generals, the best environment. Everything seems to be going your way. And you go in and suddenly some unknown variable changes it up completely. Right? So you're going and you got this huge army and unbeknownst to you, you're marching over a fucking pit of sand that is about to fall out and a hole opens up and your army falls into a fucking hole in the ground and you're left with 10 guys and the other guys with 100 goes, oh shit! And they just charge down and wipe your ass out. There's no way you could have seen there was going to be a collapse. Right? Alright. According as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. If luck seems to be on your side and things start getting better, make sure to take advantage of the new luck. On the opposite side of the coin, if things look fucked from the outgo, Make sure to adjust and then be flexible. So let's take that same example. This guy was fucking pausing. He was kind of scared. This guy came with this massive army. Fucking pit fell. Luck is now on his side. So if he's still sitting there going, I don't know, he's a fucking idiot. He saw the opportunity to jump at it. Flip side, this guy sees that. If he still tries to fight, he's a fucking moron. His troops are gone in a fucking hole. He needs to turn tail and fucking run his ass as quick as possible. All warfare is based on deception. Right? That, if you play Call of Duty, I think, is a quote that shows up all the time. And is a very famous quote from The Art of War. All warfare is based on deception. I kind of more generalize it so that we're taking it out of the warfare context. All conflict is based on mind games. Okay? It doesn't matter. Conflict could be anything. It could be a disagreement between somebody else. It could be a bully fucking with you at school. It could be a teacher being really hard on you as opposed to somebody else. It could be in the workplace where you're trying to, take another company over. Conflict is around us all the time. And a lot of times when you're dealing with conflict, you'll play these mind games. And we'll get more into that later. Hence, when able to attack, we must be seen unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. So, if you can kick the fuck out of them, act like you can't. If you plan on dropping the beat down, look like you're just chilling. When you plan on rolling up, look like you're not. Always make a fucker question himself constantly. If you want to fuck with their head and mentally keep them off balance. So, that's important because if you are, let's just say if you're in a street fight, okay, and you're jabbing, and you let them see that punch is coming, then they can evade it, counter it, whatever. But if you're sitting there and it looks like, I had this guy, I had this guy I used to spar against, and he used to do this shit with his hand, and the minute I'd look at that hand, bam, he'd catch me, and I'd get so pissed off. So then I started anticipating it, right? He'd go like this, I looked at that, boom, he'd catch me with the other one. He was mentally fucking with my mind. He was keeping me off balance. And that's basically what that's talking about. Okay. Hold out baits to entice the enemy, feign disorder, and crush him. Continue with the mind games. Bait the fucker to move. Act like your crew is sloppy, and when he jumps, smack his ass. Show him how badass you really are. Mind games are vital before any conflict. So, you don't want to engage a person in where they're nice and solid. You don't want them to be in their comfort zone. You want to pull them out of their comfort zone so that you can just smack the shit out of them, right? So, act like you're weak. Oh no, dude, boom, right? So you're acting like, no, I'm scared. What? And you just trick them, right? Mind games. If he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he has superior strength, evade him. Okay. If his spot is strong on all sides and he's rolling strong, anticipate attack. If he's stronger, run from the fucker and plan. Alright? You need to be really observant and make your plans accordingly. So, dude's fucked up, what's up? Just automatically know he's coming, right? A lot of people don't think tactically, they think emotionally. They just come at you, just raw emotion. Always think. Never stop thinking. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. So if your opponent's easily pissed off, push his fucking buttons. Get him amped up. Pretend to be weak, so he gets cocky and sloppy. Right? Again, it's all mind games, trying to get the situation to where you want it. So he's not thinking, but you're planning ahead. If he is taking ease, give him no rest. If he's trying to rest, cause a ruckus, don't let him. A tired enemy makes a lot of mistakes. So figure a way to mentally fuck him over and over and over. Lots of stress helps. Okay? So you want to stress a fucker out. When people are stressed out, they're not getting sleep, they're not getting the rest, they easily are emotionally riled up. Again, trying to get him all emotional. If his forces are united, separate them. Fuck with his crew and try to divide them so he can't command them well. Okay? If he's got a bunch of really good people, try to figure out ways to get those people at each other's throats. If they're fighting internally, they're not fighting with you. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. Jump his ass when he's slipping. Show up where he doesn't expect you. Okay? Again, these are just tactics. These military devices leading to victory must not be divulged beforehand. Okay? The plans you got cannot be snitched on. Keep it secret from everyone but your inner circle or the people that are executing. Right? So, if you make a master plan, the last thing you want to do is post that shit up on motherfucking Facebook. Oh, I'm so gonna fuck this dude. Oh, nah. No, don't do that. Keep it to yourself. Make it a surprise. Because once your surprise is revealed, you're fucked. You're not going to be able to get that surprise back again. Now, the general who wins a battle makes many calculations in his temple, where the battle is fought. The leader who wins in shot calls does so from his crib or temporary spot where the battle goes down. So in other words, you want to be in your sanctuary, your sanctum sanctorum, somewhere where you can collectively think. You need to be able to think before you engage with somebody. Thinking allows you to do your variables, your calculations, make your plans, make your secondary plans, make your third plans. That way, when you actually start to execute and you have all your variables in play, if plan 1 fails, you fall to plan B, plan C, etc. But you need a place away from everything where you can actually fucking think. The general who loses a battle makes but few calculations beforehand. Thus do many calculations lead to victory, and few calculations to defeat. How much more no calculation at all? It is by attention to this point that I can foresee who is likely to win or lose. The leader who peeps the game and knows the pieces and has solid strategy and plans well should win most of the time. The fucker who doesn't plan and looks to the pieces and look at the pieces is doomed to lose. These basics will set the leader to be a true badass. So again, you got to be able to look. You know, the last thing you want to do is rush into anything. A lot of this stuff is really talking about being calm and measured and thinking things through. You know, a lot of problems we face in day-to-day life is emotional knee-jerk reaction to some shit where we should have been calm. We should have thought it through, but we didn't. All right, so that's the end of that first chapter. So you can see the first chapter by far is, I think, the largest chapter. So we covered a lot. We covered a substantial amount of information here. So if you guys want to have discussions about any of these pieces or clarifications, or if you want to clarify some pieces or give me some of your interpretation on this, by all means, do it in the comments below. I look forward to it. So this ends chapter 1 of The Art of War. And I hope you guys really enjoyed it, because I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit. As I'm writing it and doing my interpretation, it's a lot of fun. And in teaching and explaining things to other people, you solidify shit in your own head. So you're learning stuff even more. You're getting a deeper understanding of something. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like it, please subscribe. Add some comments down below. I look forward to it. And like I said before, there's 13 chapters. So it'll be a total of 14 episodes for this Art of War stuff. So I'm not going to do them all at once. They're going to be broken apart little bit by little bit by little bit. And at the end of the 13th chapter, there will be a concise PDF document that you'll be able to get your hands on. And the people that kind of interact with me and add comments and things of that nature, they'll get some credit in there. And also, I will be giving out free copies of that final work to the people that I know are contributing and helping out and having active conversations with. Okay, guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you like it. All right, until next time, please be good to each other.